Marco Asensio, after the game, tweeted this: "Let's keep dreaming." And I can confirm that, Marco Asensio, you have my full attention. Up the Villa. Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is the tactical debrief of Aston Villa 3, Club Brugge 0. If you are new to our channel, make sure you are subscribing. Get on the journey with us. Smash the likes. We are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You have to hit over 1,000 likes on this one. Comment your thoughts and just get involved in every single episode show that we do. It's there for you to get involved, but I feel like one of you can be like Willy Wonka's golden ticket today by helping me get over 24,000 subscribers, and we're only 2 away. So who is going to be number 24,000 on the list? So on today's show, we're going to go in depth on the performance. We're going to take a look at the images from the game. And there is one glaringly obvious aspect to it, and his name is Marco Asensio. But we are going to go in depth on that goal that we scored, the first goal, because it is absolutely incredible for what you can see from Asensio. It's kind of eye-opening, to be fair, of how good the player is. Okay, yes, he's scoring goals, brilliant. But the positions he's taking up, guys, it's next level. It is next level. We'll take a look at the underlying numbers. We'll have a look at the average positions. We'll have a look at the heat maps. We'll go to the tactical pad. So it's going to be a real in-depth episode of how I felt like the game went, how it develops, but stick around for the Asensio part, guys. Right. So, overriding feeling from the game was, and reflecting on it, is that it was spine tingling at the start of the game, guys. It was epic. And don't Villa put on a good show? A real spectacle. You know, what we're seeing, just don't take it for granted, because that classical music at the start of the game, with that tifo coming down with the lamp, with the projector lights in the crowd and on the tifo, what a sight to behold. And the scarves were brilliant, and I absolutely thought it was exceptional, and it was brilliant, and I love it. And it really gets you and sets the scene for the game. I mean, the Club Brugge fans must have looked at that and thought, that's good days. That's good. Fair play. So, yeah, so it was just brilliant. Nice touch with the scarves as well. Different coloured ones. Just really, really good. Yeah, I mentioned on my fan cam that I had a moment towards the end of the game where I was just looking at the players and just thinking, quarterfinals of Champions League? It is special. It is on. Guys, it's on. No one's telling me we can't go all the way. I'm not having it. We're going all the way. We are going all the way. Like Asensio says, we have to believe. Like Emery says, we have to dream. And I've still got the quote on my desk, what Unai Emery said: no limits to our dreams. And it's going to be difficult. We are going to have to dig in. We are going to have to suffer. But we have to show the heart and the passion and the desire and the belief. And I believe we can do something very, very special. So just believe, dream, do whatever we've got to do to get there. And we did have to suffer in this game. I felt like we kind of got tactically slightly wrong in the first half. Bruges set up with a 5 at the back, and they had a lot of width out wide. And I think very early on in the game, we really struggled, and our midfield double pivot was isolated. Now, I'm not sure why Kamara went off, but I think he got kind of given the runaround a little bit. And I think both of them did. Well, I think the whole team did, to be fair. But I think that midfield too really struggled to get to grips with the game. There was so many times where we would go to press and they'd pop it round us, pop it round the corner. So we had to really get a foothold in the game. And I think from early on, what I saw from Villa was that the midfield too was very isolated because we weren't getting enough support from Rodgers. McGinn was pressing with Watkins. Rashford was high and wide on the left. And it just meant that the midfield too, we'd got this gap. And for whatever scenario and where we wanted to go, we couldn't really get out of these zones here. They were popping it in and around here, in and around here. And everywhere that Bruges moved and passed the ball, we were very slow to react. So that showed to me that it was a bit more of a tactical setup, really, on how we were positioned. I think what we really wanted to get in the game is what we started to see in the second half was Maatsen in and around these midfield areas. And then you've kind of got this situation here where Rodgers can go in there. But then I also don't feel like we had much width on this side either. And it was very, very lopsided, especially on the right-hand side. There was no width and there was out balls and Rodgers was having to come across. So I just felt like first half tactically, we kind of got it a little bit wrong. But the beauty of Villa and the beauty of Emery is that we've got firepower on the bench. We've got quality on the bench. We've got tactical flexibility with the squad players that we've got. So it's not always like for like. We can rotate. We can move around. We can adapt and change the system. And I think the personnel that came on in the second half enabled us to get more of a foothold and more control of the game. And I think, as we can see, when we make the substitutions, and I'll show you what we did. So we keep Rashford up. Rashford kind of goes up front, but he's able to move around. We've got McGinn that goes in the double pivot. We've got Rodgers. We've got Bailey. And we've got Asensio. So we'd really got this sort of flexibility with our team to be able to move around. Rashford can pick up the ball on the left, can act as a striker. Asensio in here. We've got Rodgers that's moving around and peeling around, and he's better for me on that left. I don't really like him on the right. I don't think he's that comfortable on the right. And Asensio, you're bringing on in that pocket. But the biggest game changer for me, really, and one of them might not get spoken about, was actually McGinn going in that midfield. We had so much more control with McGinn in there, picking up the ball. I thought McGinn was outstanding for Villa in the sense of changing the game, what he was able to do for Villa, getting on the ball, being brave, being aggressive. And I just think the rotations that we had were really good. And Maatsen, again, needs massive credit, but I'll get on to Maatsen in a second for you. But that shows that all of the flexibility with personnel, we're able to change and tweak. Again, you take Cash off, you bring on Disasi, you're getting a bit more of a structured and a different feel to the game. So first half wasn't the greatest, but second half was loads better. So one of the main talking points in the first half was the long ball from Emi Martinez to Marcus Rashford. And again, it shows the tactical awareness of our players to take the initiative upon themselves. We play it from the back. We're very comfortable. And then Martinez decides long ball over the top. Rashford's on his bike. High line from Bruges. Rashford attacks the space. Rashford wins the free kick and gets the player sent off. And again, I've touched on this a couple of times recently about player involvement without actually just getting goals and assists. The metrics from football fans that don't really support your club will go through a player list and go, who's got the most goals? Who's got the most? Oh, that's their best players. Whereas when you're actually watching Rashford play and what he actually does and where he takes the ball and what he actually drags players, drives at players, he's class. He's absolutely first class. And, you know, this was a huge moment in the game for Villa because we'd really stretched them. We got the players sent off. And then Bruges kind of carried on with what they were doing, really. And that's why I'm saying it leads me to a little bit of a tactical element of what we were kind of doing a little bit wrong, really. But we regrouped at half-time and we brought on the main man, Asensio. I think for this one, guys, let's cue a little bit of music. Let's cue some music on this one. We're going to talk about the first goal for Aston Villa. And I want you to keep an eye on Marco Asensio through the whole goal, right? It's all about movement. Movement against a team that are down to 10 men, but just the awareness to get into the right areas at the right time and to absolutely bury the chance that you get. Now, a lot of Asensio's goals are pretty similar. And some would say that they are close quarter tap-ins. Now, I don't care whether it's a worldie from 25 yards or a good finish from 6 yards. His movement for these goals are absolutely incredible. Let's just take a look. So, first of all, we see a unbelievable line-splitting pass from Ezri Konsa, who plays this ball to Marco Asensio in space on the halfway line. Marco Asensio drives with the ball to the edge of the box, and note the options that we've already got. So he's drove with the ball and he's now facing up Morgan Rogers. We've got options. We could go this way, but we decide to go to Morgan Rogers. And now finish off with looking at where Asensio releases the ball. So he's slap bang in the middle of the goal, really. So Asensio in middle of the goal on the D at the 18-yard box. And what he actually does is he gets into this position here now where he starts to drag a player out of the way to start with, which is clever for Morgan Rogers because then it will open up space to either go in here or drive into this area through here. And then when we find that Rogers passes the ball to Youri Tielemans at the edge of the box, Asensio's now out of shot. No, he's not in a dangerous area, but he senses an area that he now needs to get into. He now needs to start to get into this area and take up a position centrally. It's a little bit of a loose pass to Youri Tielemans, but the next part of it is it goes to Tielemans, it goes loose, but John McGinn comes storming in from out of nowhere. What's that saying? Like, is it like in W? Like, imagine like the WWE commentator going like, out of nowhere, John McGinn. John McGinn just comes out of nowhere. I don't think the player even realises that John McGinn's there. He just steamrolls into him, wins the ball, and now Asensio, look, he's peeling. He's on the back of a player here now. This is danger. Danger, danger, danger. The ball goes out to Leon Bailey now, but there's not... Movement doesn't stop there. Movement continues. Up steps WWE style. Matty Cash on the overlap. Matty Cash on the overlap now is offering an option for Leon Bailey. So Bailey can either pop it to Cash. Asensio, look. But Bailey knows that a little flick into this area, Asensio, no one no one anywhere near Asensio. Nobody near him. From the starting position to another position to the player that gets in that position there to finish this. But we've got to talk about something else before the finish. We've got to talk about the little flick dink to Asensio. What vision from Bailey. Absolutely incredible. Because he could have played the easy pass, the easy little slip to Matty Cash, but he plays this little... I love it as well. Do you know what it's got? It's got arrogance. It's just a little... He's standing the player up. It's just a little... What is it? A nonchalant little flick. And we're in the back of the net here. And it is an absolutely unbelievable goal from Asensio from starting position to get into that position there where he ends up out wide and then follows it and is able to bag. It's movement, it's clever, it's elite, it's finds space, and it's just so good. It's absolutely brilliant, guys. I can't tell you how good it is. And then it just doesn't stop there. We've got vision from Yuri Tielemans to find Asensio, peeling off, running off players. The touch to take that down. The calmness, the composure. And he hits the post, and I thought it was in. Like, I was like, I was kind of celebrating. I was like, it's in. And it hits the post. But just the vision, the run, and what you're about to see as well is that Villa have runners, constant runners, and you're going to see here, like, he takes it down, and the Asensio touch, like, it's just class, absolutely class. And then we've got another one. So we've got, and this is for the Maatsen goal, similar sort of situation, but we've got runners that want to get into that area. No one's pressuring us on the ball. We play a brilliant ball. And again, we've talked about the Asensio touch, but what about the Rashford touch? The Rashford touch is just as good. And he's able to bring it down under immense pressure from three players. He then slips in Morgan Rogers, who, again, just like Bailey, if you actually re-watch this goal here, watch the clever little back roll that he does with the ball. He's doing a little bit of a movement. He bides himself time with a little back heel roll, and then that enables him to open up his body and manipulate the ball into Ian Maatsen. And guys, that's our left back. Hybrid. All I'm going to say is hybrid. And you'll see this from the average positions. That is our left back. And when I'm talking about we've got different systems, different styles, different personnel. If this was Luca Dean would be here, getting a crossing, whipping it into here. But when we're talking about Maatsen and how he's going to develop at Villa, inside, attacking inside space and inverting. Maatsen and Digne are both completely different players. And what Maatsen can offer is different to what Digne offers. That's not a bad thing. But when I said at the start, options, rotation, personnel, systems, squad, this is what it's all coming into. For any given day opponent, game state, we've got different options. PSG beware. Right, again. So, I mean, this is textbook now. Textbook. drag players to you, pop a player in, on your bike, drive, pace, power, quality, goal. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant stuff. And we've got a very, very tricky, very, very good winger here in Marcus Rashford. And Asensio bags the goal. And here we go. But even in this moment, you have to have the quality to find the pass, because this is a moment where you're looking at it thinking it's got to be perfection. But not only that, he could be selfish. He could be greedy. He could think, I haven't scored for Villa yet. I'm going to try and take a touch. I'm going to try and shoot. But no, he's selfless. He thinks for the team. And this player is special for Villa. And we are going to do something special with this player, and all of them. Because he knows that this is his time. And this guy here, he's just delivering. He's just delivering. So that's my analysis on the goals. So much more in there than just goals. Absolute quality. Absolute quality. Now, where we're going to go with this show now is we're going to take a little look at the average positions, but we're going to take a look at Ian Maatsen's positions, right? Because it's important. It's very important that we take a look at this. And we see the difference. Was I surprised to see him start? Yeah, because I just think you can't call Emery's teams at the minute, can you? Because you think one player's going to play. You think Digne plays every game, and then he puts Maatsen in. You're like, okay. But we've got to look at where he's doing the damage. And when we signed him, you know, long-standing viewers of the channel will know that when we signed him, I spoke about, and go back and check it if you don't believe me. And long-standing viewers will know that we were speaking about Maatsen in central midfield and inverting into a central midfield space. And we can start to see it here now. You know, look at, he's kind of going into Yuri Tielemans' space here. And that inverting nature enables him to come into midfield, attack central spaces. But if you've got Rashford on the left, you don't need an attacking left back. You don't need a left back that's going to offer your width like what we see. So the clever thing to do is invert the left back and enable the left winger to offer the width on the left. And then on the right, you can tweak your system. So if you've got Mings, Konsa, and Kamara that can make a back three, you can then say your right back can offer the width on the right, and then your wide right player will invert. But I don't think we had the right balance in there in the first half. But in the second half, it came together, and it was very, very good. And I think his positions were brilliant. I thought Bailey, when he come on, was a massive, massive threat. Asensio finding space. His ability to find space is incredible. And I think he's so good at doing it. And I just absolutely love watching him. And here we can see the Bruges system. 5 at the back. They've got width coming from all angles, really. And we was able to pick them apart, really. We have a look at some of the underlying Villa numbers. Maatsen, 94% passing accuracy, 4 out of 6 duels are won, 1 out of 2 aerials, 89% passing accuracy for Asensio. We've got Rashford, 96% passing accuracy for a winger, for an attacker. That is very, very good numbers there. 3 out of 7 of his duels were won. Konsa, 4 out of 5 duels. Bailey, 3 out of 5. Mings, 2 out of 4. McGinn, 6 out of 10. Cash, 3 out of 6. Kamara, 2 out of 5. Rogers, 2 out of 9. Needs to improve there. You know, the passing numbers are very good. So just a really pleasing pleasing night for an Aston Villa fan. And yeah, just so proud of the team to get to this stage, for me to, as a fan, to experience Villa at this level is just an absolute joy, an absolute dream. And long may it continue, guys. Long may it continue, because I'm absolutely loving it. And our team is very, very special. And yeah, Champions League, European elite football, never finished below the quarterfinals. That shows this club has European pedigree, absolute pedigree. And PSG up next. Big question. Everyone keeps asking, can Asensio play? Yes, he can. The European loan deal market is different to what it is domestically. We saw Ealing Jr. play against us as well. So he can play. And yeah, it's going to be very, very special. I said from the start of this campaign that I do not want to play any English team in Europe, because for me, it's just too domestic, too same. I feel like Anfield at the first leg would have been very, very difficult. Yes, I've watched PSG twice against Liverpool, and I think Arne Slot got it tactically wrong. He was absolutely schooled by Luis Enrique. He got the midfield battle completely wrong in both legs. And I expect Villa to, and I will say this, Villa will run PSG more than what Liverpool did. And I think we can do it. We can beat PSG over two legs. They've got quality. They've got very, very good players, good wingers, good midfielders, good defenders. But Emery up against Enrique normally ends one way. Emery back at PSG. Villa, confident, squad, flying. Hopefully by then we've still got all of our players available. It'll be very intense. We'll have to suffer, but I think we can do it. I really think we can do it. Asensio believes. Like, we're in the quarterfinals now. At the start, no one would have expected us. But what is the point in supporting Villa if you cannot believe now that we can go all the way? As a fan, we have to believe, because we will be underdogs, and that's fine. We will be the underdogs, and that will suit Villa. That will really suit Villa. And there's a lot of talk now about PSG within the media because they've knocked out the darlings Liverpool. The narrative now changes, doesn't it? Because let's go back to the start of the knockouts in the round of 16, right? Round of 16 was Liverpool topped Champions League group. PSG had to play through that playoff game. Liverpool go through. No one gave PSG a chance. Jamie Carragher, comfortably. Liverpool comfortably. Okay, mate. Okay, where are you now? Yeah, mate, you're watching Villa play PSG now, mate. And just because Liverpool are out, PSG favourites. PSG now favourites to go and win the Champions League. Can PSG win the Champions League? Hold on a minute. You didn't give them a chance before Liverpool. Just because they beat Liverpool now, that narrative is now switched because the PSG played well against Liverpool. And, I'm not doubting that PSG are a very good team, but don't write off the Villa. Do not write off the Villa. And this is what we were saying in the Bruges preview when we did our Patty Freaks episode about making sure that you respect Villa. put the respect on Villa's name in Europe, because we have such a good opportunity to get to the semi-final. We can't just be written off because it's Villa. You know, who'd have thought when Man City won the Champions League that Inter Milan would have got to the final? Who'd have thought Dortmund would have got to the final last year against Real Madrid? Who'd have thought Spurs would have got to a final against Liverpool? You know, Champions League, it's not in football. You cannot go, oh, them against them. They're the better. They're going to win. And I said it when we could have played Atalanta or Dortmund, and everyone was going, Atalanta or Dortmund will get through. Doesn't always work like that. Football does not work in that way. There are upsets. There are permutations in games. There are these weird, quirky things that happen all the time that merge paths together. Who'd have thought Unai Emery would have ended Arsenal's title campaign last season? Emery going back up against PSG with Villa in the Champions League. These little football stories have a funny habit of finding ways to have really funny things that go in games and seasons and stories. So back us is all I'm saying, because we've got a squad full of quality that can do damage. And for whatever game state Emery needs, we've got the personnel for it. If you want to sit back, soak up, we've got those players. If you want to be expressive and open and attacking, we've got those players. So I'm really excited, looking forward to it. We've got 18 days off now with no Villa. So content-wise, we've got episodes that will be dropping, which is good. My second channel, The Villains, has got off to a very good start. And today, after this, I'm going to start working on an episode that I'm going to be bringing out next week. And I'm looking forward to that. We've got episodes coming out on this channel as well. Who's going to be the golden ticket 24K? Let's see in the comments. If you get to be number 24,000, let us know. Thanks for your support. And yeah, enjoy it. Just do all the good stuff that you need to do. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, you are commenting. The Villain Show, that's now on Spotify and iTunes as well, so you can check that out. And yeah, just cheers for the support. Up the Villa.